Greetings, modelers, and welcome to the Hope Subdivision. Our annual update, see what has changed from this year to last. This is the main line. It will have a continuous loop to bring in intermediate trains that do not detour over the Hope Subdivision. We've been weathering a few cars. That are represented here. This is the Highway US 29 underpass in Hope, Arkansas. This is looking towards the depot and the KCS interchange coming off where that Missouri Pacific boxcars are. The Cat Mountain is on the Frisco, hence the Frisco boxcar. A bicentennial caboose for the Frisco in the background. Missouri Pacific Jeep 35s, one with dynamics, one without, and one is the Beast. We've laid approximately 15,000 ties. We're installing switch panels from Central Valley. Need to get some throw bars though. Hopefully we can snag those somewhere. These have all been weathered and are ready for rail. We've got approximately 15 feet of rail laid, and we're dropping feeders as we go. Aerial photograph of Hope. KCS inventory chart lists all the tracks here at Hope and down in Anthony and Herbert, all the way down to Stamps, at least the north end of Stamps. This is Anthony with Pilgrim's Pride, just down the road. We're still working on how we're going to do the Y. We need a little room for people to get through. It'll probably be one of the tighter areas for people to walk through. Coming out onto the main line. 29th Street underpass will be here again on the south side of town. Right in this location right here. It's a real neat Art Deco style bridge. 4 lanes. Coming down to Anthony. Anthony, by the way, has a lumber yard and a hardware distribution center there in Anthony proper. And then coming down to the south end here is Pilgrim's Pride, which distributed chicken feed. This is about where Patmos is. It's just a dinky little town about 10 miles south of Hope. Coming down the line. We've got Herbert. This is a big gravel yard served by the two railroads, KCS and the Cotton Belt. I don't know how long the KCS served the gravel yard. They abandoned it in '78. The Cotton Belt hauled the bulk of the product. Coming down to the IP wood yard north of Stamps. And this is Ross and Jane's pulpwood yard. Coming around the corner, we hit the diamonds at Stamps for the Cotton Belt. Those will be static. The interchange tracks, those will be active, and the Cotton Belt will detour down the KCS to Minden and on into Shreveport, where they get back on home rails. This is the interchange yard at Stamps. Stamps was once a big lumber manufacturer. That's how the L&A got their start, was in the lumber business, and Stamps had a huge mill that produced everything with lumber. Now we got our run to the next town, or passing siding in this case. Which is known as Experiment. It's out in the middle of nowhere. I decided to add this passing siding because from Stamps to Cullen there was really no place to meet, and actually from Hope, Arkansas, all the way to Cullen, Louisiana, there was no place to meet a train. So I went ahead and added Experiment. It's about 18 feet long and should be able to handle anything. KCS will always take the siding, and then the detours will hold the main. Coming around the corner. We come up on Lurch. Lurch is a petrochemical facility. Has 2 tracks. It's owned by Phillips Petroleum. A very interesting little facility out in the middle of nowhere. See if you can find Lurch, Arkansas on Google. I stretched it out a little bit to get more of the refinery in place, along with other details. Excuse me. Coming down back on the main line. We might put the little passing siding from Taylor, north of Taylor, in here. We'll see how that goes. This is all relatively recent that we've worked on. We got our peninsula pretty much done. Just got to put the cross members in. Taylor is going to be right in this area. And there's a pulpwood yard that'll be here, a small pulpwood yard. And now you can see how we come around the corner here. Coming around the corner, we come into Spring Hill. Now in here, the main line will take off down on this side of the work area. Where the blue pipe is, that will be a workstation for the paper mill. And then we have the paper mill on this side. I think I've finalized it's going to be about 3 feet wide. Seems like everybody's comfortable with that I've surveyed so far. This is the bulk of the car loadings are here at Cullen, which is the big paper mill. It had paper mill, cardboard, anything to do with lumber products pretty much. They did plywood. They didn't do dimensional lumber to my knowledge, but they did a lot of everything else from plywood to paper, cardboard, all kinds of other things that had to do with lumber. There were also several chemical companies in the area that produced different products that'll be modeled here, hopefully. We'll have the room for that. So coming around the corner right here, we're going to model this area right here. Whoop, nope, excuse me, that's Minden. How'd that get over here? All right. So where is our, oh wait, it's back here. I went right by it, didn't I? Here's Cullen. This is the actual paper mill area. And I think the yard is on this side. The yard tracks will be about 10 feet long, and then, of course, the facility, engine facility and whatnot will be relatively condensed. The turntable is only going to be about 70 feet, and it's stuck in place. They did not use it during the 70s. It was pretty much just stuck in place with water in the pit. So. All right, coming down the way through the yard at Cullen. We get back down to single track. Whoopsie. Down here is the town of Cotton Valley, and south of Cotton Valley was Cotton Valley Solvents, along with one other bulk oil storage area that we're going to try to model, and also a pulpwood yard. This area will have relatively long tracks for tank cars. This is our big tank car producer. Even today, they still produce a lot of tank cars. It's what's keeping the Watco business in operation. Coming around the corner, we got Dorcheap Bayou. It's actually a straight, long trestle on the real railroad. Here, we've got it curved a little bit. It's about 3.5, 4 feet long, and hopefully we can get that in place soon. We took a Walther's kit and we cut every other spacing along here and then glued them together, and it turned out to be a really nice about 42 to 48 inch radius. Coming around the corner, we come into the passing siding of Dorcheap, which is just about not quite 10 miles outside of Minden. Making the turn, coming into Minden. This is the Minden industrial area. There's a bulk oil facility right here. And then over here is going to be Dresser Magabar and a cement plant. So we should have some good variety here. And then over here, we've got feed and seed and a furniture distribution center, which will be over here. Coming down through Minden, the shop facilities will be in this area. I can't model all of the shops, but I'm going to try to get in as much as I can. This is also the turntable pit right now. It's a 75-footer. And of course, it'll be dead also, stuck in place. They used it for an extension for locomotives, and it was full of water and fish. The track in the background is going to be one of the tracks that goes through the shop area and runs around the whole complex into the yard. We're not modeling the Y. In reality, that's what went to Shreveport, was the north leg of the Y, right there at B79. That was the leg that went to Shreveport. But we're going straight into staging, so that will not be modeled. Got a lot of yard track done with ties. I don't know if you can tell the spacing here, but there's a mainline spacing, a passing siding, and then yard and spur spacing. Once you see it, it's hard to get it out of your head once you see it. Coming down this way, the south end of Minden. We've got switches ready to glue down. We haven't glued them down yet. And then we go off into staging. And that's the mop main again on their loop going into staging. Staging has 5 tracks for the mop, 5 tracks for the cotton belt, and then other various tracks for the KCS, 1 for the ICG. Hope you all enjoyed it, and Y'all have a Merry Christmas.